want the gospel of Jesus to echo. And by subscribing, that's just another way that someone else can hear the message. So if you can help us with that, we would appreciate it. And to all the mothers here and all over the world, happy Mother's Day. So to those that are tuning in, maybe you're German and it's Mutter. If you're Afrikaans, then it's Moeder. Obviously, English is mother. Mère is French. Then Madre is Spanish to the Spanish moms. And in isiZulu, it is Umama. So, however you say it, happy Mother's Day to every single one. You know, it doesn't matter where you grew up, how you grew up. Moms all over the world are the same. And as I speak to people, I pick that up. Like, oh, yes. You know, you grew up, and you can remember this, when, especially if there are more than one kid in the house, and pets. When a mom is angry and she is trying to call out a certain child, and she will start out with all the other names, and then some pets' names too. And then finally, I mean, that name. You've heard that, you've experienced that. All moms do that. It's just a mom thing. When it comes to technology, and especially when they're older, you know, Annette just prayed for patience, and as the older kids, and we have to respect our parents that are getting older, we have to have patience when it comes to our parents and technology. FaceTiming parents. How many of you have to FaceTime parents that are in different states or in a different country, and you got to, oh no, I can't see you. You've flipped the screen. Okay, now you're on mute. Just press. And you know what? It's part of it, and we have the patience. One actually said that you've never experienced this kind of frustration until you were waiting for a OTP, a one-time password, from your mom, and she's in a different state, maybe a different time zone, and you're waiting for that time-sensitive OTP. And it's, okay, Mom, you got an OTP. Where is it? It's an SMS. Okay, I can't see it. Let me call you back. No, you can't. No, never mind. What I think the OTPs, for that matter, maybe any kind of password. What do you remember my password? Or they would write it down. How many? I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I know my mom, and I love you. She's got it written down, and it's in a drawer. And if she's not close to the drawer, then we cannot do anything, because then those passwords. I've seen moms using their feet as extra hands. It's just incredible. They're carrying stuff, and then they just pick up more things with their feet. They're resilient, all the things that they can do. And I've mentioned it before. My wife can be on the phone call with her mom and speak to her, prepare dinner maybe for the kids, and then the kids would come ask something. Where is that? She would listen to her mom, make food, and hear where that is, and answer them. It's just, wow, it's incredible. The way that God has made a mom is just incredible. The sniff test. Moms are fantastic at the sniff test. Like, we just give it, when it comes to food, okay, it's good to go. And before the kids run out the door, wait, I know you didn't shower, but let me just see. Okay, you can go. The rage cleaning of the house. I've seen it, and I've experienced it. One mom actually said, she told the kids while she's cleaning, because people are coming over, I want this house to look like no one lives in it. And they always tell the kids, clean your room, because people are going to come into your room. So the cleaning, and then there's the look, the mom look. is universal. Wherever you go, whatever language or culture, the mom look is universal. There's just a look that a mom can give when you know, okay, maybe we've gone too far. This is maybe I should be quiet. But there's so many things about a mom that we can celebrate and we love and we enjoy. And this morning I quickly shared with our dream team, our volunteers. As a young child, as you're growing up, there's a lot of things that you disagree with your mom. You don't think she's wise, the things she says, and as you grow up and you get older and you have children of your own, you start thinking, you know what, you were right. I never thought I would say it, but you were right. Why did I fight sleeping? Why didn't I want to go to sleep? It's the best thing. I love it. Why did my mom not always look excited on a Friday evening to drive me around, to drop me off at friends and pick me up? It's fantastic. It's a weekend. But now I do understand. So many things that we can look back and we think, you know what? Our moms are wise. And we learn and we honor them today. And this morning, I'm going to share a little bit about mothers in the Bible and some of the mothers and what we can learn from these mothers as we honor mothers today and this morning. The first mother is Sarah, and she was the mother of faith, and Sarah's the wife of Abraham and also the mother of Isaac. And you're welcome to follow on the notes. If you have the app, every Sunday we have the notes on the app, so you're welcome to follow it on the app, or we'll have some of the scriptures on here. Sarah, who's the mother of faith, in Genesis 17:15-16, it says, "And God said to Abraham, as for Sarah, your wife, you shall not call her Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. I will bless her, and moreover, I will give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she will become nations. Kings of people shall come from her." And this came at an age when Sarah was really old. She's never had children before. She was barren. She couldn't get children. So at a very, very, very old age, this is the promise that God came and he gave her. So at first, when we read, there was doubt. Sarah had doubt that, is this possible? And if you read the story, you can identify as a mom. There are many moments that as a mom you can doubt, is this going to happen? Can I do this? Maybe I'm too old. And there's a lot of things that we can read in from her own story and how she made other plans. Now, listen to this. I know as a mom, that's probably the one thing that moms really do good is a mother has a way to make other plans for the good. I've seen a mom being a magician with a $1, to make a $1 stretch to buy so many things. Especially as the single moms, I always have a deep respect and honor for single moms and what they can do and how they make it work, the plans they make to take care of their children. And Ninette shared about it, that the moms will really do anything. But here Sarah came, and the other plans that she made is that I don't think that it's going to be possible for me to bear a child. Maybe that's not what God said. Maybe he wants to bring in a child through another way. And she made other plans. She got one of their servants to sleep with her husband, with Abraham, and another son was born. But that's not what God had in mind. He did indeed want her to bring in the promise. And eventually, even though she started out as one who doubted, she eventually had the faith and trusted God, and the promise came through. and she was restored as someone that had faith. We read in Hebrew that she's recognized in the chapter of faith, of the heroes of faith, she's recognized for her inspirational faith. So moms, you might sit here and you might think there are so many times that I doubted God, or I still doubt God. I want to encourage you, that does not disqualify you. Have the faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Have faith in God for anything and everything, for the promise, and He restores you. Just like He restored Sarah as she was the mother of faith. When we look at another mother, Hannah. Hannah was the mother of prayer, and she was the mother of Samuel. We read in 1 Samuel 1:1-2, there was a certain man, Ramathan Zophim, of the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zup, an Ephraite. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. So once again, we see a similarity. Hannah, just like Sarah, could not get children. And as we read further, the one wife mocked Hannah constantly. She mocked him, and you know, all over the world, in certain cultures, it's some cultures, they mock you if they see you as infertile, that you cannot bear children. I know in some of the cultures in South Africa, if you cannot bear children, you're really seen as an outcast. The society does not want to come close to you, because maybe, just maybe, you will cause others not to be fruitful. So it's a very difficult situation in certain cultures, and this is what Hannah was experiencing, that I am being mocked because I'm not fruitful, because I cannot bear a child. And she turned this pain into prayer. She turned this pain into prayer, and I want to encourage you that whatever pain you are going through, whatever you're experiencing, turn that pain into prayer and pray. And she had a desperate prayer, and she prayed and prayed and prayed, and God answered her prayer, and she bore a child. And she made a decision. She said, God, if you answer this prayer, I will dedicate my child to you. And we've got child dedication here, and she just said, God, this is what I'll do. I'll make a promise to dedicate my child to you, and I will allow him to grow up in the temple and let him serve you his whole life. And the promise was fulfilled, and she was fruitful, and she bare a child, and it was Samuel. But she turned that pain into prayer. The third mother is Jochebed, the mother of no fear. Jochebed was the mother of Moses. And we read in Exodus 2:2-3 that the woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she took him from the basket made of bulrushes and daubed it with bitumen and pitch. And she put the child in and placed it among the reeds by the riverbank. It was during a time that the Pharaoh made a decree that said all male sons or children that were a certain age had to be killed. So Moses' mother Jochebed, it's during this decree that she sees her son is born, and she's defying the decree of Pharaoh. And she was this faithful mother, just, I want to take care of my son. There was something that she saw. She knew that there's a purpose, that her son had a purpose, and that he had a call, and that's why she defied the decree of Pharaoh. She placed him in a basket down in a river. And can you just imagine that kind of faith? Of all things, I mean, let's hide him somewhere. But no, I'm going to put him in a basket in the river, and nothing bad's going to happen. That is incredible faith that she had, and no fear. Like, I have no fear. I know that God is going to protect my child. It doesn't matter what I face. It could be Nile crocodiles, the rapids, I don't know. I have no fear. I know that God will take care. And she reaps the reward as Moses is found by the Egyptian palace. They bring him back to her and they pay her to raise him. The mother of no fear. Another mother is Elizabeth. She's called the mother of faithfulness. Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist. In Luke 1:13, it says, "But the angel said to him, 'Do not be afraid, Zechariah, for your prayer has been heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John.'" Once again, Elizabeth, in her old age, has never born a child. She was barren for years. And here, the angel Gabriel, just like he appeared to Mary, appeared to her husband and said, you will bear a son. And she was faithful. She was faithful her whole life. She remained faithful even after that. And she was a righteous woman. And as we'll look at these four women, and there are so many others, we don't have time to go through all of the women. But as we look at these mothers, there are some similarities. And one of the similarities is the barrenness and the delayed childbearing that three of them had to endure. Sarah, Hannah, and Elizabeth, they struggled with this infertility. And even Jochebed, when she had her son, the fear was there of losing him. But these three, there was this delayed childbearing that they had to endure. Another similarity that we see is divine intervention in motherhood. Each of these women, they had the child. When they had their child, it was a direct answer to prayer and a promise that they had. All of them, they were trusting God for an answer and for a promise. And there was a divine intervention for these mothers. I want to encourage you to trust God constantly for divine intervention. Trust Him constantly. The next thing is faith in impossible circumstances. Faith in impossible circumstances. They trusted God's plan when biology was against them. When it was said that you are too old, that you are unfruitful, you cannot. It's impossible. You cannot get a child. They still trusted God even when biology was against them. They trusted God even when the politics of their day was different. When the Pharaoh said, the leader said, this is what you have to do. You have to obey me. This is what you have to do. They even trusted God during that time. Said, well, God, I have to be a mother during this time. I'm going to trust you. So I want to encourage the moms that you have your faith. You hold on to your faith during every single time, even though it seems that it is impossible, because it's during those times that we know that all things are possible. You hold on to Him. They had a protective, sacrificial love. Jochebed hid Moses, and she knew, there's a consequence. If they catch me, it's death. That's this. But they were willing to do that. Hannah gave Samuel, dedicated him to the temple. If you read the story of Hannah, trusting God for a promise, for a child, for so long, and making a promise, saying, God, if you do this, I promise you I'm going to do this. How many of us, we've done the same? God, if you come through for me this time, I promise you, I'm going to do this. And then he does. And then that promise kind of goes out the door. I'll never forget, years ago, the Cubs won the baseball. And someone held a sign up saying, God, please answer our prayers. And they won. And a week later, a church posted that photo and said, remember what you prayed for. See you at church. So, because you prayed for something and you made a promise, now something happened, so let us honor the promise that you made. She was trusting God for a son, and she said, God, as soon as I have a child, I will dedicate my child to you. And she did. She went to the temple and she dedicated her son. She said, here is my son. Let him grow up in the temple and let him be used by God. And Samuel was indeed used by God. Their role they played in redemptive history is incredible. Their sons became pivotal leaders. Isaac was part of the covenant line. Samuel became one of the greatest prophets and judges, Hannah's son. Moses became the deliverer of Israel, and John the Baptist became the forerunner of Christ. And their mothers played a pivotal role in that. And moms, I want to encourage you in the role that you play in your children's lives. Never, ever underestimate the role that you play in your children's lives. You have an incredible role in shaping your kids to become these pivotal leaders or being used by God. So as we learn from these mothers, we learn that God sees personal anguish. From all of them, he sees the anguish. 1 Samuel 1:19 says, they rose early in the morning and they worshiped before the Lord. Then they went back to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. When she was praying, he said, God, please remember me. I want to bear a child. And the Lord remembered. He saw her anguish. It says in Genesis 21, verse 1, that the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. The Lord, he knows what you are going through. He knows and he sees your personal anguish, and I will tell you that he is with you, and he will support you, and he will be with you. As Scripture says that he bottles our tears. He bottles our tears. He is present with us. Your pain is not invisible to him. What we can learn from them is that waiting refines character. Sarah and Hannah and Elizabeth had to wait. They had to wait and wait and wait for the promise to bear a child. And they waited and they waited for the promise, and they experienced that, they saw the promise. Jochebed, that knew that her son had a calling and a purpose, she got to experience and saw how Moses played a vital role in helping the Israelites move out and being delivered from Egypt. The waiting refines character. Surrender what you love most is another thing that we can learn from them. As I mentioned, that Hannah gave back Samuel, and Jochebed released Moses to the Nile. What we can learn from mothers too, as we read from these mothers in Scripture, is that God uses unexpected ways. Unexpected ways. We always think that God will do it in this way or this way, but God can use any way possible. A biological impossibility, a desperate prayer, or a hidden basket. God can use anything in unexpected ways. Those that were barren, who knew from them would become a nation, kings. Your legacy outlives you.